Today on 9 News Mornings, the country is mourning the lives of children killed inside their school in Texas in a scene all too familiar for us here in Colorado. The reactions coming in this morning from politicians, parents, and Coloradans who want change. We're still dealing with COVID in 2022. As cases rise, we take a look at what the numbers mean and if masks and restrictions could make a comeback. And mountain biking is very Colorado. We'll show you the exercises you can do in the gym to improve your mountain biking abilities. 9 News Morning starts right now.
After the shooting, they don't know where she's at. I mean, the list, her name is not here, and we don't know a list of who's gotten flown out, and you're not letting us in at the hospital right now.
I can't even imagine uncertainty and unknowing this morning for people in Uvalde, Texas. As we speak, most families are camped out at a hospital there to see if their child was hurt in the country's latest mass shooting.
19 children and 2 teachers died when an 18-year-old opened fire at Robb Elementary School. Those children were in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades.
9 News reporter Darius Johnson joins us now. He has the latest information on the Texas shooting. Darius?
Good morning, Gary, Corey, and Natasha. The one thing I want to be able to point out, that father that you all just heard from, I just learned that his 10-year-old daughter died in that shooting. He didn't know it at the time. Her cousin also died in the shooting as well. So that family is now mourning the lives lost of 2 kids. These kids are forever changed. Parents are forever changed, the teachers, and so is that community. This is now the worst school shooting since Sandy Hook that took the lives of 20 of them students nearly 10 years ago. This morning, officials are working to learn more about the 18-year-old shooter who is from Uvalde and attended a local high school there. Police say he entered Robb Elementary School around 11:32 in the afternoon, killing at least 19 students and 2 teachers. Some are still in critical condition at a local hospital or nearby. Authorities say he acted alone, wore body armor, and was heavily armed. Police say that gunman was killed by a Border Patrol agent who responded to the scene. According to CNN, the gunman posted a photo of 2 AR-15 style rifles on his Instagram just days before the shooting. The questions that still remain this morning: how did he get a hold of these guns and what was the motive? This morning we're hearing from a teacher's husband who arrived on campus just before the first shots were fired.
The minute I got in my pickup, I heard a couple of shots, and then immediately the police were there. And her class and everybody that was around her got in the cafeteria and just kind of turned off the lights, got on the stage, started papering the windows. She said the kids were real good, real quiet, and did what they were supposed to.
Right now, this morning, parents are still waiting to learn if their loved ones survived this tragedy. Many of them are in line to provide DNA samples or identify the clothing of their child that they sent them to school in. Having reported on these tragedies before, it's unfortunate that some of these families may not know if they lost a loved one until days. Mass shootings are something that Coloradans are unfortunately familiar with. John Glasgow has more from the former principal of Columbine this morning. John, I'm sure this is something he can definitely relate to and really speak to so many people.
That's right, Darius. Frank DeAngelis says it doesn't matter whether the children are from Colorado or from Texas. They are all of our children in his eyes. And he says these senseless deaths need to stop. DeAngelis is the former principal of Columbine High School. Ever since the shooting there 23 years ago, he's been reaching out to help others victims of mass shootings across the country, including those impacted in Boulder at the King Soopers tragedy. DeAngelis says he calls politicians, superintendents, and lets them know what they are feeling, that he's gone through that as well. He leaves his number for them to call in the days and months following these awful tragedies.
But what I tell them, this isn't going to be a one-time phone call. It's going to continue. And what they're feeling today is going to look differently of what, they're looking a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. And as I stated time and time again, it's a marathon and not a sprint. And just to keep my number, and certain things will happen that they'll reach out, and I try to do best I can.
So DeAngelis says that he still remembers the phone call that he received from Bill Bond, the principal from Heath High School, and what it meant to him. Now, the Heath High School shooting happened back in 1997. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to hear from the Executive Director in Security Management for Jeffco Public Schools on how he helps train schools for these awful situations. Tasha.
That's something that he and we definitely will never forget, and we'll check in with you soon, John. Thank you.
So the school district superintendent in Texas says that the school year and all activities, including graduation, have been canceled. Just under 600 students go to Robb Elementary School. It's part of a tight-knit community in Uvalde County where 25,000 people live, and those who live there explain how they're coping with this tragedy.
There's a hollowness that happens, there's a shock that happens, and I think right now that's pretty much what everybody's feeling, because it's surreal. Even sitting here with cameras and news people, this town's not used to that. The nature of the violence and the nature of the information that's coming out is beyond reasoning.
Yesterday's horrific crime comes just 24 hours after the release of a report from the FBI. The Bureau discussed the 61 active shooter incidents nationwide last year, including 4 in Colorado. That report showed most of the shooters last year were between the ages of 19 and 34. One other trend noticed by the FBI last year, more of these crimes took place in multiple locations, and that appears to have been a factor as well in this shooting.
Well, this news is always tough to hear, but there is help available if you are struggling or if you need just someone to talk to. Colorado Crisis Services offers help 24/7. You can call the number there on your screen, 877-493-8255, or you can text the word TALK to 38255. We'll get back to the coverage of the shooting in Texas in just a couple of minutes. First, we want to check the weather and the traffic with Ed and Erica. Good morning, guys.
And good morning. Well, at least we have some clear skies around here today. 52 degrees. We will warm it up to 70. Still below normal, but a lot better than it has been. And right now we're at 40 degrees, and that's exactly normal for the low this time of year. This system is slowly moving out. As it does, we will see it just wobble a little, so we'll see a few clouds drift over the eastern plains later on today. By this time tomorrow, we're clear border to border. So today, 70 degrees, fair, breezy at times, but not too bad. Then for tomorrow will be 81 degrees under partly sunny skies. Friday, 88 degrees. Don't think we hit the record high of 93, but pretty darn warm on Friday, warmest day of the week. More warmth on Saturday, 85 degrees, but we see increasing clouds as the next little system comes our way, and that could bring us some showers and thunderstorms for the rest of the holiday weekend.
Ed, thank you. Right now, we do want to show you what the drive looks like. I-70 and Steel Street is where we're looking. Getting ready to drive in the area of the tunnel on I-70 is really looking just fine. In the metro area, quiet out here as well. As we look at the big picture, just seeing all green. I do have a heads up in the high country this morning. We're dealing with another safety closure of I-70. It's between really both sides of I-70, eastbound and westbound, between the tunnel and Loveland Pass at this hour. So something to keep in mind, and maybe just wait things out if you can this morning. If you don't need to be traveling that way, that's going to be your best bet. 270 commute times on both sides are quick, just 6 minutes between I-70 and I-25 Northwest. Same thing for that southeast drive. If you're traveling on 225 either way right now, between I-70 and I-25, just under 10.
Erica, thank you. Today, a Coloradan is headed to the White House. Elijah McClain's mother, Shanine, will be there as President Biden signs a federal law requiring police officers to intervene if they see another officer using excessive force. Elijah was stopped by Aurora police in 2019. He was put in a carotid hold and paramedics injected him with ketamine. He later died. The president is signing the police reform bill within the next 24 hours, 2 years to the day after George Floyd was killed in Minnesota.
For the second time in 6 months, SNAP food benefits in Denver are delayed because of staffing shortages at Denver Human Services. The department had similar issues at the end of last year. The city says it has made improvements in benefit processing since December, but it is still experiencing delays in getting SNAP benefits to existing recipients. The Family and Adult Assistance Division is responsible for processing eligibility applications. The division has seen an increase in new and existing applications without the staff needed to process them. Since January, it's seen a 17% increase in new applications over the same time period last year and a 20% increase in SNAP recertification applications. In December, they had 70 job vacancies. 40 of those jobs have been filled, but those people first had to get trained. DHS is temporarily reassigning other trained staff to work overtime and speed up processing. In the meantime, DHS says it is expediting critical risk cases like people facing eviction older adults and people with medical emergencies. If you think you qualify, DHS is asking you to call the number on your screen at 720-944-4347. The department says it's working with Food Bank of the Rockies to host monthly food pantries starting next month, June 17th, and then another one on June 27th. The African Community Center in Denver helps community members submit renewals for food stamps. You've helped them through the Word of Thanks microgiving campaign before. They tell us the backlog has impacted at least 9 of the families they help. They expect that number to increase next month. They're using some donation funds to help those families, but they can't provide the full allotment that they normally receive through SNAP.